What if the ocean could teach you about fear, love, and letting go? That's the quiet power of Finding Nemo, a movie that somehow made us cry over fish. Released in 2003, Pixar's underwater masterpiece wasn't just about a clownfish looking for his son. It was about every parent learning when to hold on and when to let go. Behind its bright coral reefs and adorable characters lies a deep ocean of strange stories, from casting chaos to near disasters that almost sank the film before it swam into theaters. 2 decades later, Finding Nemo still feels like childhood bottled up in a seashell, warm, familiar, and filled with echoes of something bigger than us. So today, we're diving beneath the waves to uncover 10 weird facts that made Finding Nemo one of the most beloved animated films ever made. Let's start with the unlikely man who turned his biggest fear into cinematic magic. 1. The movie that started with a dad's guilt. Every classic Pixar film begins with something real, and Finding Nemo was born from the director Andrew Stanton's parenting. He noticed he couldn't let his young son do anything alone. The fear of losing him was paralyzing. Growing up in Massachusetts, Stanton often spent his childhood exploring aquariums, fascinated by the mysteries of the underwater world. But when he became a father himself, he realized he had turned into something he never expected, an overprotective parent. So he asked himself, what if a dad fish had to learn to let go? That tiny thought became a full-blown emotional odyssey. Marlin's panic and endless warnings were Stanton processing his own fears in screenplay form. He once said, "I realized I was keeping my son from experiencing life because I was afraid for him." That's why Finding Nemo feels so painfully human, even though it's full of talking fish.
I don't hate you.
Oh, no.
Fun fact, Stanton wrote the first draft entirely from Marlin's point of view. No Dory, no aquarium scenes. Those came much later. Next up was pitching, and while most Pixar pitches take months of convincing, this one took exactly 1 word. 2. The one-word pitch that got a green light. You know how Hollywood is famous for endless pitches and red tape? Projects go into meetings to negotiate and eventually die. Well, Finding Nemo skipped all that. But when Andrew Stanton pitched his idea to Pixar, he just said 1 word, fish. The execs, already riding high from Toy Story and Monsters, Inc., looked at each other and said, "Yep, let's do it." They trusted Stanton's storytelling instincts so much that they didn't even ask for a full outline. Just the word, fish. Of course, what came next was 5 years of rewrites, design tests, and animation experiments to make the ocean look real enough to feel wet. Fun fact. Pixar animators had to take scuba diving lessons in Monterey Bay to study how light behaved underwater. Even though the movie looked seamless, the story went through some pretty dark early drafts. 3. The barracuda scene was almost too heartbreaking. Remember that gut punch opening where a barracuda attacks Marlin's home? If you thought that was traumatizing enough, you might want to brace yourself. In the original script, it was even worse. The first draft showed Marlin watching the entire attack, his mate Coral, and hundreds of eggs being devoured one by one. Pixar's team realized that was nightmare fuel, even for adults, so they rewrote it. Instead, we get the devastating fade to black moment. Still sad, but not traumatizing. That edit saved Finding Nemo from being too dark for kids and set the emotional tone perfectly, tragic, but full of hope. That single opening scene took nearly a year to animate because Pixar wanted the ocean lighting and the barracuda's reflection to look realistic.
Coral?
The opening might have softened, but behind the scenes, things were getting a little tense. 4. Megan Mullally got fired for sounding like herself. Comedian Megan Mullally, known for her role as Karen on Will and Grace, was originally cast in the film. Pixar hired her expecting the high-pitched Karen Walker voice from her sitcom. But when she showed up to record in her normal tone, producers panicked. They reportedly asked her to do the Karen voice, and she refused, insisting in her real voice and reminding them that the contract never said anything about it. A week later, she was out. Fun Mullally later joked in interviews that she still doesn't know which fish she was supposed to be, but she's glad she dodged a bullet with fins. One actor swam out, another big name almost made it in, until a last-minute swap changed everything. 5. Albert Brooks wasn't the first Marlin. Rumor has it William H. Macy was the original voice of Marlin, and even recorded several sessions before being replaced. Pixar wanted someone who could make Marlin anxious and lovable, and Albert Brooks nailed that balance. Brooks's nervous humor transformed Marlin from a gloomy dad into one of Pixar's most relatable characters. Director Stanton said, "Albert could make fear sound funny." That skill turned a heavy story about loss into a movie kids actually enjoyed watching.
They're going to the drop-off? What are you insane? Why don't we just fry them up now?
Fun fact: Brooks improvised a lot of lines, including several frantic ramblings that animators later used to shape Marlin's body language. But no character changed more drastically than Dory, who wasn't even supposed to be a she. 6. Dory was originally a forgetful dude. In the earliest drafts, Dory was a male fish, some kind of a stoner surfer who forgot everything. Then one afternoon, Stanton watched Ellen DeGeneres on TV. She kept switching topics mid-sentence, losing track of her jokes, then cracking up again. He instantly knew that's his Dory. He rewrote the role overnight and begged Ellen to join. Her mix of warmth, chaos, and heart made Dory unforgettable. Without her, "Just Keep Swimming" probably wouldn't be tattooed on half the internet.
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Fun fact: Ellen recorded most of Dory's lines twice, once fast, once slow, so editors could cut between them for comedic timing. Before all of this, though, not everyone at Disney believed a forgetful fish movie could make waves. 7. Disney's CEO predicted a flop. When Pixar screened early cuts of Finding Nemo, then Disney CEO Michael Eisner wasn't impressed. He told colleagues he thought it would underperform. To him, Finding Nemo was too niche, too emotional, and too quiet for kids. He was very wrong. The film grossed over $940 million worldwide, won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and became the highest-selling DVD of 2004. Pixar staff later joked the real moral of the movie was, "Never bet against Pixar." Side note, it also became the most searched movie on Google in 2003, proving how massive its cultural splash really was. Ironically, success for Pixar turned out to be bad news for real clownfish. 8. Finding Nemo hurt real clownfish populations. When Finding Nemo hit theaters, every kid wanted a clownfish. Pet shops couldn't keep up. Marine biologists later confirmed a 30 to 40% drop in wild clownfish populations in parts of Southeast Asia and Australia. People bought them for home aquariums, unaware they need coral reefs and symbiotic sea anemones to survive. Environmentalists had to launch the Don't Take Nemo campaign to warn parents against buying wild fish. Quite ironic that a movie that celebrated ocean life ended up endangering it. Scientists were worried about fish populations, while Pixar had its own concerns, a plagiarism lawsuit. 9. The strange plagiarism case. In 2003, French author Frank Le Calvez sued Pixar, claiming Finding Nemo stole ideas from his 1995 children's book Pierrot le Poisson Clown, Pierrot the Clownfish. He said both stories featured an overprotective clownfish father searching for his missing son. The French court didn't buy it. Pixar showed that Stanton's earliest drafts predated Le Calvez's publication, and that the tone, themes, and design were totally different. The lawsuit sank faster than a lead anchor, but Le Calvez wouldn't give up. He tried to trademark the name Nemo in France, but Disney beat him to it by a few hours. If there's one thing that floated to the top, it was Pixar, because Nemo kept making history. 10. Finding Nemo made Oscar history. At the 76th Academy Awards, Finding Nemo took home the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, becoming Pixar's first film ever to win that category. It also earned nominations for Best Original Screenplay, Best Score, and Best Sound Editing, which was super rare for an animated movie at the time. More than the trophies, though, Finding Nemo cemented Pixar's reputation as the studio that could make grown-ups cry with cartoons. The film was so beloved that Australian aquariums reported record attendance spikes from families saying, "We came to see Nemo." So much time has passed, but Finding Nemo still feels fresh not because of its CGI, but because it understands fear, loss, and love in a way few live-action dramas do. It taught parents that letting go is an act of love, and kids that courage sometimes looks like swimming straight into the unknown. And for all its weird production stories and real-world chaos, the film remains Pixar's purest reminder that even when the ocean gets dark, there's always a little orange fish out there whispering, "Just keep swimming." If you loved this deep dive into your childhood favorite, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which classic movie you want us to rewind next. Until next time, just keep swimming.